Yeah, Yegor's situation has been very interesting. I mean, pretty much from the start of the season. I think their first few games, in November, he really skyrocketed. I was a part of that narrative as well. I was at their opening night game in Provo, and he kind of just blew everybody away as a 6'9" point guard. I felt like we were watching this, 18-year-old Russian Magic Johnson. I mean, it was unbelievable, and I think we all kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and we all put him top five, and or at least most of us did. And then he got hurt and he struggled throughout the year a little bit and then finished strong. So it's been very much a roller coaster in regards to his draft stock and sort of media attention and whatnot. I do think he's trending up, and so it was one of those things like he was sky high, and then he kind of bottomed out mid season. Where I mean, some of us were even thinking he might go back to BYU to play with AJ Devance, so their stud recruit coming in, and just I think as I mentioned, this last 10%, everything is positive, and so I'm expecting him to be a lottery pick. Still trying to pinpoint exactly where, just like everybody else is, but he's definitely on the rise after sliding back, throughout the season.
The landscape has changed. Nobody knows it better than you, with your personnel experience, basketball experience, and now as an agent. A guy like Yegor Demon, he would play for Real Madrid all the way up until the draft, right? And you guys would have to go overseas to see him and stuff. But now, I guess there's enough money in college hoops, right, where you can get him over to America. How does BYU, for the fans who don't know, get a guy like from Real Madrid to come to America to play basketball here before he gets drafted?
Well, I mean, I can give you millions of reasons of why. And so, no, what it comes down to with NIL, it really comes down to the financial considerations. And we are seeing a major shift with guys like Yegor Demon. Another name for you would be Kasparis Yakachionis from Illinois. Same type situation. Was playing in Europe and came over to get the exposure and make more money than he would have if he had stayed in Europe. And so I do think we are going to see more guys like this. Like Luka Doncic, for example, in years past, guy like that stays with Real Madrid. I think they're going to be coming over, which is going to dramatically change the scouting landscape. But there are some guys that are still carried over on the traditional way of doing things, and some of them missed the draft combine because they're still with their teams. Hugo Gonzalez playing in Spain, Jon Berenger in Slovenia. These guys have a chance to be first-round picks, and they haven't been a part of the pre-draft process so far. And but anyway, I do think in coming years that will change.
So you're telling me that like Luka Doncic would have gone to like Kentucky nowadays, maybe?
I think so.
Wow, that's so interesting. As far as what BYU is doing, with AJ Debonsa, right? Like when like this power surge, right? Is this something? And I've called games in Provo. You've been there many times scouting players. Is this something that BYU can sustain in your experience?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have a lot of financial resources, and with that, it's not just paying these guys to play, not to pay for play entirely. They've got great resources. They've got an NBA qualified coach in Kevin Young, and so the combination of the fan support, the financial resources, and just the staff they've put together, with Kevin Young, and then just his support staff as well. It's a great place to go make money, to develop and get exposure. I mean, they're playing in the Big 12. I think they're going to be probably one of the better teams in the country next year. So I don't see there being any reason why it can't be sustainable.
Do you think we're going to see more of that? Like we saw Alex Jensen go to Utah, right? Kevin Young, a young NBA assistant, going over to these colleges, and their impact is immediate, especially in Kevin Young's case. Is that the trend?
I think so, on some level or another. And I think one thing is changing and evolving, day by day, is how these staffs are being put together and sort of the priorities and the needs of these staffs. In years past, the assistant coaches a lot of them were essentially recruiters, and so what's happening now? A lot of these big programs are building these mini NBA type front offices that are kind of taking some of those responsibilities off the coaches' plates, which is now allowing these head coaches to build out their staff with basketball coaches rather than recruiters. And so I think having guys with professional experience for development, being a little more tactical with the X's and O's, I do think that's where things